Hi friends, welcome back to my channel for all my amazing subscribers, or just welcome if you're new here. Today I'm setting up my July plan with me and I'm really excited because this is a theme I have been dying to do for so long. I'm so excited to share it with you, and it is all about watercolour sunflowers. I am currently working in a B5 size journal. This is the Gentle Giant from Notebook Therapy, and I have to say how impressed I am with this notebook. I'm always really cautious about using watercolour in my journal because even though they always say they're 160 gram and they're always really happy with the water content, I'm just so nervous about the pages buckling or dripping through, or generally just sort of making a bit of a mess. But I was super impressed how well this one actually held up to the quantities of water I was using. Now, this whole design is super simple. I think I used 3 colours the entire way through. I used a really nice kind of ochre colour, a medium yellow, and a nice rich brown as well. And I used a sage green for some leaves as well, so 4 colours. But other than that, these were the most simple flowers ever to design, and I really like that about them, that they look really sketchy and kind of rough, and that was the whole point I had in my head, that I wanted something to be super loose and super chilled out. I think sometimes I can get a little bit carried away with making sure my designs look really picture perfect, and I almost lose the enjoyment of just sitting and painting for a while. And I really didn't have that this time. I really just enjoyed every moment of setting up this journal. So I really enjoyed it, and that was just really wonderful for me. So as you can see, I have masked off the area I wanted to paint going across both sides of the spread, and then I went in with my watercolours. I'm using the Windsor and Newton travel pack at the moment, which is my absolute favourite set of watercolours ever. I love it. I chuck it in my rucksack when I go away, and so I can always have it with me if I need it. I used quite a wide flat brush to get the effect of the petals, and once that was all dry, top tip, use a hairdryer, it speeds up the process so much. Once it's dry, I'm going in with my Fineliner. My favourite Fineliner at the moment is actually this Faber-Castell. It's a 0.3 nib, so it's not huge, but it definitely has a little bit of weight to it, which gives this really nice bold effect when I'm going in and sketching out all of the petals. I'm really deliberately making it look a little bit messy. I didn't want to sort of outline the watercolour, that wasn't my intention. I wanted it to be more that was a kind of blocked out background, really loose, that I could go in and add this kind of sketchy effect over the top. It makes it really loose, but it also just makes it so much fun because I'm not too worried about making each edge look perfect. If it's a little bit blotchy in places, actually I almost think that adds to the design. So it just kind of takes that little bit of pressure off. I'm not a naturally great watercolour artist. I find watercolour really hard because it's quite uncontrollable, especially with the amounts of water that you have to use. I'm much more confident using acrylics and sort of very bold, slightly less water-based paints. So I think it's really good for me to have a non-pressured situation where I can just have fun with my watercolours and really just enjoy the process. Peeling off the masking tape now, and that is always just such a satisfying moment. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I think I possibly would have made the stripe a little bit wider with hindsight, but actually I think it looks really nice, and it's quite different for me to do it this way rather than having a quotes page on the left, so that was really fun to try as well. Just adding the title now in one of my calligraphy pens, and that is everything finished. So getting stuck into my next spread, which is my calendar. I normally do a large calendar across 2 sides of this journal, but because this is a B5 rather than an A5, I actually have so much more space to play with that I thought it could be kind of fun to do a calendar on the other edge, so horizontally rather than vertically. So as you can see, I've turned my journal round, I've rotated it, and I'm just sketching in a very basic calendar. I also just wanted to say sorry, my camera was really struggling to focus, and I'm not quite sure why, so major apologies for the slight sort of blurriness there. But hopefully it's worth it, because I'm really proud of how straight those lines ended up being. The ones I drew freehand were the vertical ones coming down towards me. And I always find drawing straight lines really difficult, except when I'm drawing towards me, so make of that what you will. Now, these are the only colours I'm using in markers. I'm using my zebra Mildliners and this lovely ochre colour, and also a nice sage green, just because I thought that mixed really well with the watercolours that I had chosen. Just very simply adding in some coloured dots for the numbers, and that's basically the calendar done. So the next spread I am going to set up today is my quotes page. Originally I wasn't going to do a quotes page because I wanted my title spread to go across both sides of my journal, but then I decided I would miss it too much, so I decided I would use the other half of this spread and just add in some more of these watercolour sunflowers at the top and the bottom of the page, and then put the quote in the middle. So again, I'm just going in with the mixture of the rich brown, the medium yellow and the ochre to sketch out the sunflowers, and then I'm using my quote in the middle. My quote felt really summery, really just filled me with happy feelings and sunshine. It's almost the summer. I'm really excited to have some decent weather. And actually, someone did point out to me while I was filming this that sunflowers don't actually bloom at this time of year. It's quite early for them. But I'm growing sunflowers at the moment at work. I have loads of them. They're about 2 feet high at the moment, and I wanted to celebrate that, so I decided I was going to do the sunflowers anyway, despite the fact that they're not quite horticulturally correct at the moment. So this next spread is an amalgamation really of 3 pages I tend to have each month in my journal. Obviously the first 2 are my trackers. First is my mood tracker and second is my habit trackers, where I try and keep track of things that I try and do every day or on a certain day of the week, like watering my plants or remembering to take my vitamins, those kind of things that I need a little reminder to help me with so I can try and get into those good habits. The other thing I wanted to include on this page is a memories page, and this is a really simple spread. I just mostly leave myself a little bit of space where I can jot down anything that has happened that I really want to remember, and I can also use it as a space to do little drawings of things that have happened throughout the month, or even stick in photos or ticket stubs, all of those kind of things as well. And as things are hopefully continuing to open up a little bit, I'm really excited to have a few bits that I might be able to pop in there. So I've just done a really simple couple of sunflowers across the top of the page, and then for my mood tracker this time I've just done a really simple line graph with the numbers from 1 to 31 across the bottom, and then I can simply just add a dot on each day depending on how my day has been. Underneath that, I'm only doing 6 trackers this month. I felt a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of things I was trying to keep track of last month, and I didn't actually end up completing every single day, which I know is awful. So I decided I'd turn it way back this month, go for just the sort of 6 core things that I really wanted to keep track of, and hopefully I'll have slightly better luck keeping track of them this time. And onto my final spread to set up for this particular video. This is my first weekly spread. Now, I actually have decided for my weeklies for this entire month, I'm going to do the same layout for each week. So they're all going to be absolutely identical with the sunflowers down that left side. But the way I'm going to be able to differentiate between them is I'm actually going to use Dutch doors. So you can see where I have put that little bit of washi tape on the right, and I've only painted that one sunflower. What my plan is to cut around that sunflower and use that almost like a tab. And each week I'm going to have another sunflower a little bit lower down the page. So hopefully it will look really nice and cohesive across all the weeks. And despite the fact that they all look the same, it will still be really visually engaging and really just nice to look at and really fun to use. So carrying on with my sunflower design down the left, going over it now in my Fineliner. And then all I do is divide up the rest of the page into a section for each of the days of the week, a section for any tasks I might have and any notes to keep track of. I'm just adding in some final details on my sunflowers, so the crisscross section in the centre, and then also the outlines of the petals and a little bit of detail on those. I actually managed to delete the footage of me cutting out the Dutch door, so many apologies. I'm just having one of those days when I was doing this clearly. But I wanted just to show you how the Dutch door would work. So you can see down the edge I have cut around the sunflower, and I can use that to make my tabs throughout the month. And now for the final flip through. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed setting it up. I really had an absolutely wonderful time painting these sunflowers. It was so relaxing and just fun, and it just made me feel so happy, which is what bullet journaling and painting should be about. So I'm really hoping it made you feel that way as well. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you do like the content I create, do feel free to subscribe or leave a like. Take care and bye for now.